Welcome to this week's crypto forecast for the week ending April 7th, 2023. My name is Justin Bennett with Daily Price Action, and in today's forecast, we're going to talk about the DXY, the US dollar index, the S&P 500, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Now, if you haven't joined my new partner yet, PrimeXBT, be sure to do so using my link. I'll put a link in the description here on YouTube. If you're on the website, click on that link that says free access, and you'll see the link to join there. Now, be sure to use promo code DPA to get up to a $7,000 trading bonus. And if you deposit $500 or more, I will give you lifetime access to our Discord group, where I post 2 videos just like this one every single weekday. We also discuss a ton of different charts and setups in there, and I also post my trades in real time. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the DXY here, the US dollar index. And I like to look at this because it tends to move inversely to risk assets like stocks and crypto. So at the moment, we can see where the DXY so far is holding below the monthly open, which just started here today. So we got a decent rally here early on Monday. However, the DXY reversed sharply into the close. Okay, so looking at the 15-minute chart, you can see just how sharp this reversal was after a nice, a decent rally here to start Monday. So at the moment, the DXY is still holding above support here. So you can see this trend line off of this closing price. We've got this area right around 102 that is technically still holding here on the daily time frame. Now, obviously, this is not a very bullish looking candle. Furthermore, the market is still below, that monthly open, which again, just started today, but this is going to be one to watch here over the coming days. And also that yearly open right around 103.50. So in order to see bullish movement here from the DXY, we are going to need to see a daily close back above this monthly open at 102.60. All right, so get back above here, and we're looking at 103.50, that yearly open, with a daily close above that, taking on levels like 104.12. Alternatively, if we do see this break down convincingly here in the coming days, then we're looking at a move down toward that 130 macro support, which has been a key level for the DXY ever since May of last year. So really, this all boils down to one massive range for the DXY. So even if we do see this trend line break, this down here would not be a time to get bearish on the US dollar, simply because it would still be within this range that really has outlined the DXY ever since May of last year. So this has just been one big range here for the DXY, and this promises to be a critical support area if we do see it tested this week. So next up, I want to talk about the S&P 500, which Bitcoin loves to follow. So this is a market to watch. Now, what I will say is lately, Bitcoin really has not cared at all about the S&P 500. But with that said, it is following it to the downside. So every time we see a little dip during this rally, Bitcoin has reacted to the downside. So it's not following the S&P 500 higher. Okay, but if we were to get a reversal in the coming days, that's something to watch because it would weigh on the crypto market. All right, so for the S&P 500, you can see here on the 4-hour time frame, we have this ascending channel off of these lows. And we've also got the top of this channel, which comes in currently up here around like 4160, maybe as high as 4175. Okay, so this is going to be one to watch here over the next 24 to 48 hours. We also have this level right around 4140, which is not all that obvious from the daily time frame. But if you go to the monthly, this has been the level for the S&P 500 on the monthly chart ever since back here in February of last year. So notice how this level served as support. We got the breakdown, and then it served as resistance ever since that time. So I do think that 4140 is going to be one to watch. We could see it move a little bit higher this month, but really, on a monthly basis, that is the level to watch. Now, above that, if we flip back to the daily time frame, okay, the next key level is going to be, once again, we have 4140, but then also these highs from back here, okay, this range, the highs of that range right around 4175, which could coincide with the top of this channel, depending on when that's tested. But ultimately, like I've said recently on Twitter, this is not something where I would try to short this blindly, not this kind of momentum. What I would look for, if anything, okay, any kind of weakness here is going to come on a sustained break back below areas like this, all right, because we've seen the break above it. So any kind of sustained break below this would mean that this up here is a fake out, especially if we do get a close below this channel support. So same thing up here at 4140. If we were to see the market react at this level as resistance, all right, you get reaction here, and then we get a basin above it. Any kind of close back below could be, a sign of fatigue. Okay, so what I would look for here is some type of deviation to show weakness. This is, like I said, not something that you want to try to short blindly, not with this kind of bullish momentum. All right, now for Bitcoin, which right now is still holding above that key area and has been for the past 2.5 weeks. So, obviously we all know that Bitcoin has been very sideways here in the last few weeks. really difficult to trade with these choppy, indecisive conditions. But right now, what I'm watching, and I know a lot of people would disagree with this, but I personally still think that this resolves to the downside just because of the massive amount of liquidations that have built up along the way down here, especially below this recent low. Okay, just below $20,000, there is a ton of long liquidations that have built up down here in this area. Now, with that said, okay, we don't really have a trigger for that yet. There's no confirmation that we have a breakdown, and that's what's critical. Okay, because even though I think that we could, see the move lower in the coming weeks, it doesn't mean that we are going to get that, or even that it's likely right now, because technically Bitcoin is still holding above the top of this channel. All right, so the level to watch right now is going to be just above $27,000. And you can see that here on the 4-hour time frame where we got the retest today. All right, so ever since Bitcoin got above it back here, this level is held as support. All right, so this is going to be the one to watch here over the coming days, because if we do get a sustained break below this, and especially 26.5, all right, that's that previous range high. If we get a sustained break below that, we're looking at 25.2. All right, that would be the next stop here for Bitcoin if we break below 27,100 and also 26,500. The reason 25,200 would be significant is you can see that we have these two highs from back here. Okay, so this level is going to be just as significant as these two up here. So still a lot of support below, the current levels, but I do think, like I said, I think that this eventually resolves to the downside. I could be wrong on that, but just given the liquidations that, sit down here, I really think that Bitcoin is going to want to take those out before we eventually see higher prices. All right, and just to illustrate this before we move on, you can see that this right here is the liquidation heat map for Bitcoin. And I showed this on Twitter earlier, but what you can see is down here we have 20,000, all right? And 20,000, just below that, we have this big pocket of yellow, and those are long liquidations. And what you'll notice is that over time, Bitcoin loves to trend toward these areas of liquidity. All right, and this is no exception down here below 20,000. I know a lot of people think we're never going to see 20,000 again, etc. But the chart doesn't lie. Bitcoin loves to trend toward liquidity, and right now there is a ton of it below $20,000. Now that doesn't mean that we can't see a move back toward 29,000 or even up toward 30,000. But eventually, I do think that Bitcoin is going to want to take out that $20,000 area. All right, so let's wrap things up with Ethereum, which I'm still tracking the top of this consolidation pattern that we saw break out recently. So this level extends from September of 2021, and we got the break back here. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, we got the breakout. Ethereum has sustained that break ever since. So if I move in, you can see where we got the retest of this level to show that it is significant. All right, so this is that September 2021 trend line. You can see we got the retest right here, held above it. So this level right around 1670 over the coming days is going to be absolutely critical for bulls. If this were to break on the higher time frames, okay, daily close below it, then I really think we're getting levels like 1560, 1500. But ultimately, I think that if we were to get that, something like this over the coming days where we break below this, I think we're looking at a move down here toward these lows, and we probably take that out before any sustained, bullish movement again. Now, you can also see where we have this ascending channel, all right, off of some of these highs and lows recently. So off of these lows, you can see that we've got this channel that moves up. We've got the highs up here. We've got the highs through this area, the lows during this consolidation, and the highs recently. Okay, so I think this is going to be one to watch here over the coming days if we were to see Ethereum take out 1840. Okay, because this is going to be range resistance, has been range resistance for Ethereum over the past couple of weeks. Now, we saw it tested today. So far, no breakout. But if we were to see Ethereum come up here and take out this area, all right, and maybe flush shorts that have built up here in this area, this level right around 1880 to 1890 is going to be one to watch. All right, because I think that any retest up here, that could turn into a, fake out with a close back below 1840 being the trigger for the move lower. All right, so I think that that idea is worth watching as long as Ethereum is above levels like this. Okay, 1775 is going to be key. This has been a short-term pivot here for ETH. A close below that, 4-hour close below, we're probably looking at a move back here toward these range lows right around 1700. But once again, 1670 is going to be the level to watch. Any kind of close below this on the daily time frame or higher, we're looking at much lower levels here for Ethereum, down there toward 1500 and probably even 1300 over the coming weeks. All right, so all in all, still very range bound markets. Ethereum, Bitcoin, No real resolution here just yet. We could still see higher, like I said, maybe up here toward 1880, 1890, but eventually I do think that these, consolidation periods resolve to the downside simply because of the liquidations that have built up far below the current levels. All right, so that's it for today's forecast. I hope it helped. If it did, be sure to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and also sign up with PrimeXBT using my link. Use promo code DPA to get up to a $7,000 trading bonus. Deposit $500 or more, and I will give you lifetime access to our Discord group. Trade well out there, and I'll talk to you again soon.